Hi, welcome to video number 2. In this video I want to teach you how to knit the baby hat, Angry Bird. In video number 1 I show you how to make the shoes or slippers. They were very easy to do. And here is the list of material you're gonna need to make them. To make this knitted Angry Bird hat, and this is what I'm gonna use, is the set with these little shoes or slippers. Really cute. I did this one last week. So I'm gonna use the same yarn. This one I bought them at the Dollar Tree for $1.25 each. They are 100% acrylic, 50 gram, and don't have the size of the yarn, but I compare with other yarn that I have, and it's like a size 3. This little finger puppet, I bought them at the dollar store for $1.25. You see, it's to put your finger in there. So I bought them with the idea of making this set. So I hope you can buy this in your local dollar store. The netting needle are this circular needle. They are USA or 5 millimeters. If you don't know how to knit with circular needle, you can do with straight needle. But I recommend to learn how to work the circular needle because you don't get that seam at the end when you have to sew the hat. It's nice and even. So you're going to need tapestry needle and scissor, needle and thread to sew the little head in the top, and you're going to need a stitch or a row counter. Okay? Here I'm going to wrap the yarn 15 times around my needle. And that I will measure 4 times because I need enough tail for 60 stitches. So go ahead and do enough tail for 60. Here I left enough tail to cast on my 60 stitches. So I'm going to cast on with my needle. Either you're working with circular needle or a straight needle, you're going to cast on exactly the same, your 60 stitches. So I'll show you what to do next after I finish casting on. Once you finish casting on, you're gonna do a small knot there. That way you secure the stitch. So if you're working with circular needle, you're gonna need a marker. And if you're working with straight needle, you don't need one. So here I cast on only 12 stitches to show you how you're gonna work the straight needle. So we're gonna do 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl all the way around. So will be exactly the same. A straight needle or circular needle will be 1 net and 1 purl, or 1 purl, 1 net. Usually I like to start with a purl. So you're gonna continue working like this all the way around till you've done your 60 stitches. Okay, like that. So on the circular needle, if you have never worked with circular needle before, it's really easy. You just have to stretch the stitches, make sure that they're not twisted, and the tail always go to the right side. So I'm going to place the marker. And here I'm going to start with a net. So no matter if you start with a purl or a net. 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, a purl. Usually the first row on the circular needle is a little tight. But after you start working the other rows, it starts to get more loose, easy to work with. So you're going to continue all the way around this row. Here I finished that row. I'm going to pass the marker to the other side. And when you work in circular needle, you'll have to do the stitches as you started. I start with the net, so the first one here is the net. Because you are not working back and forth, the stitch stay the same. Okay, and then a purl, and a net, purl, and you have to be moving the stitches that way they're easier to work on the other side. Like this, you're gonna work until you have 6 centimeters. I will work off camera and I'll let you know how many centimeters, how many row I did for those 6 centimeters, okay? So if you work in a straight needle, and this is the right side, like this. When the tail is in the front, this one is the right side, and when the tail is in the back, is the wrong side. Excuse me. So this is the wrong side, and then you have to work the stitches as you see them. So here I finished with a net, but in the back, that net is a purl. So I have to start with a purl. And then a net. And a purl. So in the back of the net, you are doing a purl, and in the back of the purl, you're doing a net on the other side. Like this. You're going to continue doing your 60 stitches for 6 centimeters. Here I finished. I did 10 rows, so I had the desired length. So now I'm going to change color. I'm going to start using the red. So if you're working with a straight needle, you're going to change color in the wrong side. So you have to do an extra row, one less row of border to do the wrong side. So you will start from here doing a row of purl. See, this is the wrong side because the tail is in this side and this is the right side. So that's what you have to do. Just work in the wrong side, like we did for the little shoes. Now for these ones, it's a little bit different because we're working with circular needle. So we have to do net. So I'm gonna attach my new yarn to this one here in the back. So when you attach that yarn, you're gonna start working with that one. So you're gonna net with this one. You wanna start netting like this with a new color all the way around. Start to look like this. Here I want to show you, if you're working with a straight needle, you're gonna attach it here to the other yarn, and you're gonna purl this row like so all the way to the end. Like this. So on this side, in this side is a purl and the other side is a net. Once you look on the other side like this. Okay. When you finish that row, I recommend to turn your work around and attach that tail with the yarn that you're working. Do a knot there, that way you don't get a little hole in here. Okay. Once you finish doing the little knot in the back, you're gonna start working net all the way around each row. So since you're working with circular needle, you only have to do net because you're not working back and forth. It will be net in the right side, and if you look in the wrong side, it's purl. So this is what I'm gonna do with the red until I have the desired length. So if you're working with a straight needle, this one here, you have to guide yourself by the tail and the bottom. This is the right side. Each time the tail is in the front, is the right side of the piece, so you have to net. And when you are working in the back, that the tail is in the back, you have to purl. And that's what you're gonna do to create this hat. So I don't want to work anymore with this because I just explained enough for you to know what to do with a straight needle to create the hat. I'm going to continue just with my circular needle. If you don't have circular needle and you have the possibility to buy one set, I recommend size 6mm. That is the perfect size to do different size hat, and with a short cable. That's easier for you to work with a short cable. So I'm going to continue off camera and I will let you know how many rows of net I will do. This is what I look like as you work. I look really pretty. Here I finished with the red. Now I'm going to decrease. And in total I have 24 rows of the red, or 6 inches from here to here, or 15 centimeters. Now we're going to start the decrease. So we're going to do 2 together, all the way around, 2 and 2 together. And at the end, we will have 30 stitches. Okay? Like this is how we're going to decrease. We're going to net 2 stitches together, like so, all the way around our hat, 2 together. So at the end we will have only 30 stitches. As you work, it will be a little more difficult to work because you are decreasing the number of stitches, but you have to be moving your stitches around or pulling the wire a little bit out in order to decrease. I finished that row. Now this row gonna be one net all the way around without decrease. That means if you are working with a straight needle, after you do that decrease in the net row, when you come back in the purl row, you don't do decrease, you just work 30 purl. Okay, so here you're gonna net your 30 stitches. Okay, once you finish that row, you will do another row of 2 together, and after that row of 2 together, you will do another row of 2 together. When you do this one, you will have 15, and when you do the other one, you will have only 8 stitches. And after that, we only have to leave the tail for securing the top of the hat, and then we'll be done this part. I only have 8 stitches left, so I'm gonna cut the yarn, and with the tapestry needle I'm gonna pass my tapestry needle through those 8 twice, and I'm gonna close that, go to the inside, loose that tail, secure the yarn and loose that tail, and then I will show you how we're gonna sew this in the tip. And if you want to do this little hat bigger and you use exactly the same yarn and the same needle, I recommend to do 4 more stitches and give it more height, like 7 inches, okay, or 8. So if you are using a thicker yarn, this hat automatically is bigger. Okay, what you're doing. In this part here, you have to make sure that you do 1 stitch to even the border, because all this is uneven. With that tail, you even that up and it will be perfect. Once you finish sewing the tip and losing the tail, it will look like this. And if you are doing this with straight needle, you'll have to sew the seam, you know, the 2 ends together. So this one, because it's done with circular needle, you don't have any seams. So now with the needle and thread, you're gonna sew the little head in here the same way that we did in this one, that you don't see the thread because I did it nice and under there, that way you don't see it. Okay, so I will do it off camera and I will show you the end result. This is the amount of yarn that I have left over, so I hardly use any of those 2 balls of yarn of 50 grams each. So here's the end result, and look how nice this Angry Bird baby set look of the little shoes or slippers and hat. Well, I hope you guys like it and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And if you make this set and you want to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Stedman, or you can find me in my Instagram, Ruby Stedman Crochet. Please share my videos with friends and family. That way you guys help me grow here in YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.